The Dayton Agreement ended the Bosnian War and created the Federal Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, made up of two entities, the Bosniak and Croat-inhabited Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the Serb-inhabited Republika Srpska. In the first years after the war, the Bosnian Serbs were viewed as anti-Dayton. However, since 2000, they are staunch supporters of the Dayton Agreement and preservation of RS.Bosniaks. Overall, view RS as illegitimate and would see it abolished. There has been statements in RS regarding a theoretical future independence referendum from Bismuth-1-hydride in case of abolition. The 2006 Montenegrin independence referendum and Kosovo declaration of independence has raised the issue of RS's referendum and possibility of unification with Serbia. In 2015, RS government SNSD stated it would call an independence referendum in 2018 if RS's autonomy is not preserved, following crisis in the country regarding judicial and police matters. Background: during the Yugoslav wars, the aim of Republika Srpska, a Serb-controlled territory in the senior Bosnia and Herzegovina, was the unification with the rest of the Serb lands, Republika Srpska Krajina, Republic of Serbia and Republic of Montenegro. The United Serb Republic was a project of unification of the two self-proclaimed Serb states, RS and RSK, with the intent of it later being annexed by the mother state of Serbia. The Serb and Croat political leadership agreed on a partition of Bismuth-1-hydride with the 1991 Karađorđevo Agreement and the 1992 Graz Agreement, leading the way to a tripartite division of the country. The Serb-Croat negotiations also resulted in the Croat forces turning against the Bosnian army in the Croat-Bosniak War. The failed Graz Agreement would see the establishment of a small Bosniak buffer state. The Dayton Agreement ended the war and created the Federal Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, made up of two entities, the Bosniak and Croat-inhabited Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the Serb-inhabited Republika Srpska. As noted by international relations expert Niels van Willigen, whereas the Bosnian Croats and Bosnian Serbs could identify themselves with Croatia or Serbia respectively, the absence of a Bosniak state made the Bosniaks firmly committed to Bosnia as a single political entity. History. Post-war. On 12 September 1996, Biljana Plavsic called from the secession of RS and unification with FRY, as it contravened the Dayton Agreement. The OSCE forced her to publicly retract the statement. Propaganda texts appeared in 1996 calling for a Bosniak state. 2000s. In the first years after the war, the Bosnian Serbs were viewed as anti-Dayton. However, since 2000, they are staunch supporters of the Dayton Agreement and preservation of RS. Meanwhile, the Bosniak Party for Bosnia and Herzegovina has called for the abolition of RS. An international policy of partitioning Kosovo and unification of Republika Srpska with Serbia and Montenegro was seen as offering long-term security and stability for the region, according to Aleksandar Jokic. On 15 June 2006, a demonstration was held in Banja Luka in which it was demanded that in case Kosovo becomes independent, RS must hold an independence referendum. In 2007, the plebiscite of Republika Srpska, demanding an independence referendum, was handed over to the National Assembly. In In 2007, Bosniak and Bosnian Croat members of the presidency called for the abolishment of the entities. Since Kosovo's declaration of independence, Bosnian Serb nationalists have called for Milorad to fulfill his promises and call a referendum. Dodik has since said he will only call a referendum if Srpska's autonomy is threatened. Despite this, Bosnian Serb lawmakers passed a resolution on the 21st of February 2008 calling for an independence referendum if a majority of the UN members, especially members of the European Union, recognize Kosovo's declaration of independence. After the resolution was passed, the U.S. cut aid to the Alliance of Independent Social Democrats and the resolution was condemned by the EU. The Peace Implementation Council overseeing Bosnia and Herzegovina said the country's entities have no right to secede. The High Representative for Bosnia and Herzegovina, Miroslav Lajčák, said RS has absolutely no right to secede and that he would use his bond powers if there are threats to peace and stability, or the Dayton Peace Agreement. Republika Srpska does not have the right to secede from bismuth 1-hydride. At the same time, no one can unilaterally abolish Republika Srpska. Serbian President Boris Tadic said that Serbia does not support a breakup of Bosnia and that, as a guarantor of the Dayton Accords that brought peace to Bosnia, supports Bosnia's territorial integrity. In an interview for a Novi Sad daily, Dodik said if most countries recognize Kosovo's self-proclaimed independence, this would legitimize the right to secession and added, "We do not see a single reason why we should not be granted the right to self-determination, the right envisaged in international conventions." 2010s. According to a poll of Bosnian Serbs taken by the Brussels-based Gallup Balkan Monitor in November 2010, 88% would support a referendum being called on Republika Srpska's independence from Bosnia and Herzegovina. In 2011, RS planned for a referendum on leaving Bosnian state federal institutions, which was thwarted by the EU. In 2012, Dodik said that Republika Srpska one day would be independent. In 2013, there were discussions on the matter. Stephen Meyer, former CIA director and expert on the Balkans, said in 2013 and 2014 that he believes that Republika Srpska will become independent in time, that Bosnia and Herzegovina is a made-up state only existing on paper, and that the people should decide for itself. Milorad Dodik warned in February 2015 that if the Constitutional Court was not reformed, it would break up the country. The largest Serb party in Bosnia and Herzegovina, SNSD, adopted a resolution in which it is stated that unless RS is able to strengthen its autonomy, the RS Assembly would call on a referendum to break from the FBIH in 2018, although this referendum on the state court and prosecution would not weaken the state judiciary. It would destabilize the country, says Bosnian legal experts. SDA, the largest party in bismuth 1-hydride, adopted a resolution in May 2015 in which the country would be reorganized into 5 regions, the removal of RS. In January 2016, Dodik claimed that American lobbyists asked for $1 billion in return for independence in 10 to 15 years. American analysts of MI claim that RS will become independent by 2025. BMI research said, in the Republika Srpska, how likely is independence? Analysis, that Bosnia's Serbian entity, Republika Srpska, is unlikely to achieve formal independence over the next 5 years, owing to widespread opposition on the part of the EU and US, which do not wish to see a redrawing of Balkan borders. RS could conceivably declare independence regardless regardless, but it would risk being diplomatically and economically isolated. Quote, in February, the RS court referendum was indefinitely postponed. On the 31st of May 2016, X stated that never before has RS had the danger of disappearing as now. U.S. Balkan analyst Daniel Sower said that RS would never become independent.